Jerry Lawton here, Chief Crime Correspondent of the Daily Star. I'm just on my way to the High Court for day 3 of the Wagatha Christie libel trial. And for the 0.001% of the population who don't know, Rebecca Vardy, wife of Leicester City striker Jamie, is suing Colleen Rooney, whose husband Wayne is England and Manchester United's record goalscorer, for libel damages, claiming that Colleen wrongly identified her publicly as the snitch who had leaked information from her private Instagram account to a national newspaper, not the Daily Star. In short, Colleen had realised stories from the account, which she set up for 300 of her nearest and dearest, had started to appear in a single newspaper. And that, she said, made her paranoid, and she therefore set a trap, which has basically been known as the Wagatha Christie sting. She honed in on the suspect, blocked all her other followers, and then posted a series of fake potential news stories to see if any of them turned up in the newspapers. When at least 2 of them did, she publicly announced to all her followers the source of those leaks following her investigation was Rebecca Vardy's account. Rebecca says the impact of that revelation, which she insists is entirely false and that she was blameless regarding any leaks, has been devastating on her. Yesterday, giving evidence, she collapsed in tears when she was shown an article in which was recounted the abuse she's received, threats to herself, her own life and the life of her children from internet trolls after she was effectively dubbed a grass. She also claims that Colleen has somewhat revelled in her status as Wagatha Christie, and indeed a screenshot images internet followers had created showing Colleen as Miss Marple, and of a video of a scene from the cartoon Scooby-Doo when the villain is unmasked. Though it may seem funny to some, and it's been very serious to Mrs. Vardy, she says, who has suffered considerable reputation loss, she would argue. Today she's expected to resume giving evidence. She's expected to take most of the day. She's currently been cross-examined by Colleen's lawyer, David Sherburn, who basically claims that she has, over the years, after marrying Jamie, struck up a relationship with paparazzi and a single newspaper to improve her image in the public eye after some damaging stories appeared about her initially in previous relationships prior to her meeting Jamie. And yesterday, Mrs. Vardy admitted for the first time that she had tried to leak one story, not involving Colleen, but in fact involving the drink drive arrest of Jamie's former Leicester and England teammate, Danny Drinkwater. And she said she did this not for money, but because she was outraged at his actions and felt he should be publicly exposed and brought to book for them. Danny was actually fined for drink driving. Basically, she says that is the only story she's ever attempted to leak. It didn't work, she says, because the newspaper already had the information from another source. And she says at no time has she leaked anything from Colleen's private account. She's expected to carry on giving evidence throughout the day, and then we're likely to hear from Mrs. Rooney and her husband Wayne, who's been sitting on the bench, not a position a footballer is used to, at the front of the High Court throughout the trial, appearing to look as though he'd rather be anywhere else in the world for most of it, but he is due to feature as a witness on behalf of his wife. I'll check in later when we know a little bit more.